And the local index remains positive in early trade, with the rand slightly muted after yesterday's upbeat trade, and the rand continued a three-day winning streak after the dollar, oil and gold prices weakened in the hopes of a ceasefire agreement between Israel and Hamas during that conflict in Gaza. Independent analyst Carmen Mpelwane joins us now for an overview of some of the latest market moves. Carmen, good morning. Talk us through how the overall markets are faring so far this morning.
Morning, Iman. So we've definitely seen the JSE open up in the green once again. As you've mentioned, largely driven by what's happening on the global scale. So number one is in terms of the oil price that has come down, as we've seen the US negotiating for a truce in the Middle East, as well as gold coming down, and that's on the back of the US dollar firming as we go into the Fed meeting expected later in the week. And then adding onto that, also just an outlook in terms of the expectation around the US non-farm payroll numbers expected out on Friday.
So WeBuyCars says it's expecting its core headline earnings for the half year to increase by as much as 29%. It looks like the company is doing exactly what Transaction Capital had expected.
Absolutely. Post its listing, we did see the share price come off, but that's just down 6%. Largely, as you said, in terms of the core HEPS, that has been guided up between 24 to 29%. So management have said that this has resulted in their operating upwards trend or recovery being aligned with what their expectation is. So we've seen higher volumes, number one. We've seen higher average selling prices, as well as improved margins on the operational side. On the HEPS side, we did see them indicating that there's a decline of over 100%. But that, again, shouldn't be a surprise based on the fact that this is related to, number one, listing cost at about 45 million, but then also recognition of a fair value loss related to a call option that they had in the amount of 426 million.
Well, let's talk about MTN Nigeria next, and it's reported a loss for the first quarter in what the company is describing as a very challenging operating environment. So what are some of the headwinds suffered by the group in the period under review, Carmen?
So in Nigeria, the key concern there remains the rising inflation and also the depreciation in the naira. So management have come out and said that they are looking at ways to counter this. So number one, by renegotiating their lending terms to give them some breathing room, as well as engaging with the regulator in terms of getting the regulated fees increased that will assist in aligning the expenses to the income, which is naira focused. They are looking to decrease their dollar-denominated liabilities as well, and reassessing tower lease contracts. So all of this in the exercise to attempt to, as I said, balance the naira income to the dollar expenses. The market this morning's given MTN a slight boost, although we have seen year-to-date MTN has come off significantly.
Let's talk about Libstar, the food producer. It says it's going to expand its export market in the rest of Africa. The United Arab Emirates, this is the UAE, and Saudi Arabia amid a weak growth environment in South Africa. What's happening there?
Yeah, so I'm sure we're all very comfortable with the fact that we have seen a struggling economy in South Africa, and that largely driven by a consumer who remains under pressure in a high interest rate environment. So they did come out with a announcement or guidance in last year that they were going to restructure the group, so make it more simple. The focus there is on efficiency in terms of reducing costs to enable them to stabilize and improve earnings. So as you've mentioned, they are looking to go offshore to get the diversification in terms of geographical consumer. But they have also guided that they expect the consumer to remain under pressure for the remainder of 2024. So we'll have to keep an eye out. But again, year to date, Libstar has seen a significant improvement and is up 14%.
Very, very interesting. And it's interesting when we think of the rest of Africa and, or the MEA region, where we're looking for other green shoots and other investment prospects, as well as export prospects. Carmen, thank you very much as always. We appreciate your time.